is Dr. Sikorsky. I'm the owner and medical director of the Natural Image practice. I've been in practice 30 years, and I'd like to introduce my associates.
I'm Chelsea Darling. I'm a PA here, and I've been here for 8 years, and it's been really wonderful. We've been learning a lot from Dr. Sikorsky.
And I'm Polly Vallone. I've been here for 12 years, and we're excited to have you join us for our webinar. We've got great befores and afters. We're featuring a couple of products, Daxify and a very exciting filler called Redensity, and you'll see it used in a couple of places that are a little non-traditional but very exciting to give an overall natural look. And at the end of this webinar, if you stay till the end, we have some free giveaways.
And we're doing specials too, so stay tuned.
So Daxify is a really neat neurotoxin. It's new, it's longer lasting, and it gives a very natural look. I personally have it in. Dr. Sikorsky injected my glabella and forehead in early February. So I should be, and if I had other neurotoxins, getting out, my results should be kind of weaning by now. But I find it's very strong. I still can't move in between my eyebrows, but it looks really natural.
Yeah, patients are loving it. They're loving that it's lasting longer than some of our traditional neurotoxins. It's a really beautiful natural look, so we're really happy with it, and patients love it too.
Yeah, what do you think?
So Daxify is the longest lasting of the neurotoxins. It's toxin A, just like the other toxins. So if you are a person that doesn't respond to the other toxins, which means you have sort of these little neutralizing antibodies, then you will not respond to Daxify. So that's the only caveat about that.
That's a good question. People ask that a lot, so that's I'm glad you answered that.
Until they come up with a toxin that is not a tox A, it has to be tox B or C, an alternate toxin, because the antibodies that are made to all tox A's.
Some of my patients say it really takes on faster. It takes effect faster. Do you find that too?
That is absolutely true.
Yeah.
The studies show, and the patient experience is that it actually starts taking effect at 2 days. Mm-hmm. And so Botox usually takes at least 3, but usually by 7 days to take effect. Dysport is usually around 3 days, so it's a little bit faster, and it does have this slower glide up to 3 weeks. So in other words, it starts to get more and more strength up to 3 weeks, where it gets sort of steady. Where Botox, I feel like at about 2 weeks, you're pretty much where you're going to be. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Dysport. I think within a week or two where you're going to be. So some people even say, some of my colleagues that I really love and adore, they've had it a little bit longer. We got it in December, and some people have had it a fair amount longer, and they like it because they feel like the skin quality is slightly better above. So, we're still learning about it, and it's
which is exciting. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're excited to share it with you. I love Redensity. It's one of my favorite fillers right now. I think I mentioned this in the last webinar, but I'm still in love with it. That's how much I love it. You can use it anywhere, everywhere. You can do skin boosting with it. Those smile lines that people just hate, that it just adds texture to photos. You can use it there. You can use it in the crow's feet, the under eyes, which you'll see tonight. Lip lines, the smoker lines that drive women crazy. You can use it there. It is the perfect starter filler for patients that get scared about the duck lip, the OC lip. This is amazing because it just gives a little hydration without getting scary. And patients really look in the mirror after you do it, and they are so pleased. It is one of my favorite fillers. What about you?
Yeah, well, the patient that we did, that you'll be seeing her before and afters today, we did it in her little fine lines in her glabella and her forehead. And those lines have been so hard to get before with other fillers, but this filler does such a great job at just kind of those very etched in lines just to kind of smooth them out. So you'll be able to see in the before and afters, and it's a beautiful filler for that area. And like Polly said, in the temples, it's really great. Lip lines, I mean, I think she covered all the bases.
The magic eraser of fillers.
It's a really good filler. It's less chemically processed, so it's our most natural to our own HA. So that's why it's good for those areas.
What about you, Dr. S? Do you
I
love it?
I actually love it in the necklace lines, the tech neck lines.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really hard to fill some of these areas like the lip lines. You need a really, really thin, soft product. And this is a very soft product, so it's great also for these lines. There's really nothing else that works like that. There was a product, and is a product that only lasts about 3 to 6 months, and this is a better product because it lasts longer.
And you don't have to blend it, and you don't have to thin it out. Like we've been stuck against this roadblock for areas that are like that. You're right.
True. Yeah, no blending, and it lasts approximately a year based on the studies. We've had it now, I think around 6 months or so.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so so we love it. It's great. It's great to have a whole
profile.
Portfolio of all these different products that are out there. So it's really fun.
So aftercare questions, we get these a lot, and mostly with some of the newer fillers, you don't have a lot of swelling. They just kind of melt into the face, which is great, but you can have a little redness and tenderness, maybe some bruising. We have a great laser called the V-Beam for that. What about aftercare product-wise?
Product-wise, you don't have to do anything specifically putting on your face, but you can do arnica, which is a great product to help with bruising and swelling. Other than that, gentle moisturizers and cleansers. You want to be, careful with your skin, nothing too abrasive.
No makeup, we say no makeup for 24 hours after a filler.
And you don't want to be exercising either, because you do have some swelling after, even it's not a lot, but you still have a little bit, and you want that swelling to settle. So you don't want to be doing heavy exercise and sweating for a good 48 hours after you have filler, as well as toxin too, because toxin can lose. We say a good 4 hours after toxin of no heavy lifting, exercise, laying down, just so it kind of stays in its place.
Hi, I'm Polly here at Natural Image, and I have our young patient Yasmin who has a few areas of concern. Today we're going to address her under eyes. She's feeling like she looks tired, so we're going to rehydrate this area. She has had filler before, but has gone away over the last few years, so we're going to add a little bit of volume here to soften the skin. She's very happy with her upper lip, but we're going to add a little to her lower lip, and because we see some of the little signs of aging here where we start to lack support, we're going to put a little filler here and here to just make a seamless transition into the lip. So that's our plan for today.
You and me together, we could be anything, anything. You and me together.
Hi, I'm Chelsea. I'm here, PA here at Natural Image Dermatology. I'm here with my patient Noelle, and we're going to be using our RHA line of products to do some filler on her face. This is a really great line. It's very natural, very dynamic, movable with the face. So what we're going to focus on with her today is really bothers her is the crepiness under her eyes and also her lip lines. And the Redensity, which is a very unique filler to RHA, does a really nice job at filling in those really thin lines and fine lines. And also right here on her forehead, you see she's got little etched in lines in her glabella and her forehead. And we can't use filler in those areas, but the Redensity is a great product because you can really etch those lines in really superficially. And we're also going to do some work around her mouth, her nasolabial folds, and then kind of some filler back in here just to put some more balance into her face. So she's going to look really great, really natural, and we're excited.
I'm sure you all know Sandy, who has been with me for 17 years. Thank God. Okay, so Sandy has had, she's a beautiful woman, obviously, and we have already done some filler in here and also the temple lift that I was talking about, that you'll hear about in the presentation. That helped lift the zygoma and also this cheek area. So today, we also did a little lip and also chin. So today what we're going to do is just soften the cheek lid junction. This area can sometimes make us look tired, and it's very, very small amount of filler that we will need here. We need to basically gloss this area with a little bit of fine filler, and that we're going to use Redensity for. So that's what we'll be showing you tonight. And see that junction between the cheek and there, just superficial gloss.
You and me together, we could be.
Thank you for attending our event.
Keep an eye on your text messages because we'll be messaging you to book an appointment.
Hi, welcome to our event. Thank you for joining us.
We're excited to hear what questions you have. We always enjoy putting together these videos. We really find them fun for engaging with our patients, and a lot of patients have a lot of questions. So we always like to answer them and making sure you guys feel comfortable with us.
And just a reminder, whoever shows up today can take advantage of our special this month, which is buy 2 RH fillers and get 1 free.
And then at the end, stay to the end. We can't stress this enough. If you get off of the webinar early, you won't be qualified for the 2 patients that will win some 20 free units of Daxxify. And then we have another 2 patients that will each win a syringe of filler. So it's really exciting, but stay till the end. So we already have a couple of questions going through. The first one is, if I burn through my Botox due to heavy workouts, is it the same thing for Daxxify? What do you feel about just really people that burn through their neurotoxins fast?
I don't know. What do you think?
Okay. I would say, well, because I guess Daxi being so new, I will say that everyone's going to have a different tolerance for neurotoxins. But if you tend to burn through your Botox, Dysport, Xeomin faster, probably the same thing will happen with Daxxify. But the nice thing about Daxxify is it's longer lasting to start. So you still will get longer results by switching over to something like Daxxify.
I agree.
Oh, and also, if you're interested in a consultation, make sure you're checking yes to this box that's going to be prompted. Is it already prompted on their text message?
It might.
Might already just be prompted, or you'll see it later. But text yes, or just push yes, because that's important to just for the whole webinar. Okay, what are some more questions? Ooh, can Daxi be used to do a lip flip? Yes, it can. Because you're gonna say, what do you think? Yes, it can. It actually works very, very well. You don't need a lot of toxin, of any toxin, when you're treating the lip, and you just want to get a little more pink show. It's great.
You know what also I like in this area is, so the lip flip is basically putting some toxin right above the red border, and it kind of everts the lip. You can also get some lifting of the lip from putting filler right in here, which is a triangle. And it can, basically shorten the distance between your nose and your lip, which is good because as we get older, we get basically long in the tooth. That's where that saying came from. We get longer. So anyway, that's another idea of where we can put filler that will help the mouth area. And kind of interesting also as a side note, there was this really interesting study which looked at
with her science, here we go.
But they looked at when people look at you, what areas are they spending their focus on? Like they were studying the amount of time people stayed in one area of the face. And the number one area of the face is the eyes, and the number two area is around the mouth. So we're really big on like doing something very subtle on the lips, doing something subtle here, and also like the chin. It's a great area to improve. When someone first sees you and they first look at you, this kind of gives you kind of a softness, which is really nice.
People don't necessarily know when they say, "Oh, I just feel like I'm just aging here." Where you see that whole area, when we can address aging here, all the little lines, all of these subtle changes make this a more youthful area.
Yes. In fact, I think the chin is the new cheek. It's true.
Yes.
It's true. And actually, there is a lot of focus right now on the chin and the jawline. Things shift. You know how like people like focus on one area, and then I think the next area is going to be. Well, I'm now into the lateral temple. That's my new thing.
So she's one step ahead of everyone.
But I also think after that it will be the forehead, because all these areas kind of frame the face and frame how you look. But anyway, the chin is a very important area for either Daxi or Botox or any of the neurotoxins, because we're moving our chin a lot. And the reason we move our chin a lot as we get older is our table gets smaller, so that when the table gets smaller, the muscle needs to move more. And so people get this hyperdynamic, meaning they scrunch up their chin, they get these little dimples in their chin, and they also flatten their lower lip. So they get this kind of flattening of the lower lip and also flattening of the chin and dimples in the chin. So that's a really easy area to put in like 6 units or 10 units of Daxi or Botox to soften that around the chin and actually elongate gives the lip more depth.
Yeah.
Simple things.
And a lot of people, when they are aging, their lip either goes in or out. So supporting that, you're right, supporting that little chin area will then support more of your lip. So it's interesting how it all works together.
Yeah. So like if I go right here, deep right here, I am allowing that lip to like open up, that lower lip. And so
then I look more sexy. Like Kim Kardashian.
It's not possible, darling. You look divine.
But she's right. It is an area that I find my lips getting smaller as I age. But when we do address this area, it makes for a more plump, more natural lip. And people ask me all the time, "Do you have filler in your lip?" Of course, I have filler in my lips, but it's nice to be asked, because if it's not overdone, that makes me happy.
Yeah, it looks really natural.
Well, I put lipstick on.
Yeah, so the lips are really important, and we have a product called Redensity that we love in the lips. It's we call it the beginner lip filler, because it's very, very light. It's the lightest filler that we have of all the companies, and it's really good for lip lines. So it's because it's so fine, it doesn't give you that kind of like fence post look. And also in the lip, it just kind of hydrates. It gives you kind of like a little gloss and a hydration. Because as we get older, our lips start to deflate and they start to get a lot of lines. And so this is a nice way just to give a nice subtle improvement.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we believe in all kinds of lip fillers for natural looks. And we have so many options. We believe in always kind of putting it in focus of your face and what your kind of like the symmetry between your chin and your lips and your nose and like the cheeks. They all kind of
together.
Yeah, it's like a little symphony, you know.
So one of the questions we were asked, we actually get asked this a lot for all of our fillers, but how long does an RHA filler last? Most of the time, about 15 months, and that's a patient satisfaction result. So patients tend to be satisfied with their fillers for about 15 months. Now, some of the more robust fillers can stay for a little longer. Is that you kind of say 15 months is around a good answer?
Well, I think that the RH fillers, the way they're made, they take a little bit of time to integrate. And then I really do feel like they give you that 12 to 15 months where you can see the improvement. When you do Redensity, which is also RH filler, you don't get as long because, again, it's the finest filler. And it lasts, up to 12 months. So it doesn't last as long. It lasts longer than a prior product like it that lasted like 3 months. So it's a much better improvement on that. And it's tricky, but yes, it usually lasts. We try to get, with all our fillers, we try to get at least a year.
So, and then the other thing that now we're finding is that if you, and I'm sure a lot of people can recognize this in their own lips, that it does tend to get a little thinner, and that's when you're seeing your smoker's lines come in. If we take a little bit of that Redensity filler and just finally blanket that whole area, not just the lines, it really adds this nice bit of cushion. And there are some practitioners that will do that, and they'll just slowly build up the collagen that we've lost over the years. And you just a little filler every 6 months, or some people even every 6 weeks, little touch-ups as they go along up this area for much more youthful looking upper lip without the smoker's lines.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
The more sophisticated technique. You can also put some toxin in the filler. That's another thing where you actually put some units of toxin in that. I typically don't like to do that. I'd rather just do in the lip flip if you're going to go in there. But you can also put a little bit more units, like 6 units, and you just mix it in with the filler.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that people have done as well.
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Well, now I want you. Someone come in tomorrow and let's do this. One of our questions: can you use Redensity to fill the loss of volume in the cheek area? You want to take that one?
I think you're in a roll.
Well, I'll take it from here. So this is actually a good question. I do like these RHA fillers because they are very dynamic. We tend to choose which one we use with the kind of thickness of your skin. So someone with a thicker amount of tissue, we choose a thicker product. You can use Redensity if you have that fine, almost tissue papery, maybe sun damaged skin, which we see in Southern California a lot. So you can use that to fill some of the volume here. You wouldn't use it to fill some of the volume in the cheek. You would do something a little more robust, but you can change some of the texture lines that you see here or fill in some of the volume here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically Redensity, you typically will put up either very high in the skin because it's such a soft product that you can use it to transition zones between the cheek and the eye, or like Polly was saying, you could put in where the crow's feet are, the lines. But if you wanted something with lift and to give you some volume, then you need something, again, like Polly said, that's more robust.
Yeah. Okay, so how about the cost of RHA if I was doing a lower face around the lips, etc.? So that's more patient dependent, but I will say I do find the RHA fillers very economical. You can, because of where we're placing them in the skin, instead of putting them so down deep where we kind of lose them and we have to use a lot more to get the effect, we are putting them a little more superficially in the skin, and so you can get a lot more out of your syringe. So especially now with that buy 2, get 1 free, it is a home run. You really will see the difference. I love them. I love them. Okay, how about you take? Let's give this one. Do you need to wait to get filler if you already have? Do you need to wait to get filler if you already had Daxify? I just had Daxify about 2 weeks ago. Oh, and she loves it, by the way. Oh, I love that. No, you do not need to wait. You can actually get them both on the same day. That's fine. So you can actually come in and get the filler.
This is for you.
It's for me. Hi, Polly. Do you need as many units as Botox as with the new one, the Daxify? Well, it's interesting. You take this one.
No, it's for you.
We are, because it is one of the newer toxins and we're learning a little bit more about it, you tend to need more units to get that longevity. And I think Dr. Sikorsky had answered this in a previous webinar, but essentially the studies are using more units per area. But how did you answer that last night? I thought you did it so eloquently as far as it's hard because they're apples and oranges. They're not the same. They're different. Yeah, they're different measures.
Yeah, so basically, different type A neurotoxins have different ratios to Botox. So something like Dysport has usually 2.5 to 3 to 1 unit of Botox. So if you were to have Dysport, you would have 3 units of Dysport to every 1 unit of Botox. Daxi is usually we do 2 or 1.5 to every unit of Botox. But the advantage is with, unlike Dysport, the increased 2 to 1 or 1.5 to 1 gives you a longer, like 50% or more duration. So, and I think, to compensate for the fact that you have to use more units, we charge less per unit than we do for Botox to try to kind of get it kind of close for the duration and efficacy and convenience to what it would be if you were to come in every 4 months for Botox, let's say.
So one of the questions that we have is, do lasers melt or dissolve the filler faster than a standard time?
Well, that's a really good question. And I actually get this question a lot, don't you? Like a lot.
Yes.
Because we do a lot of procedures, as you know, at the same visit. Busy, and we do a lot of combining things. So we always think, and this is my favorite thing, we had this in-house kind of talk and like open house back, when was it, like in March? Yeah. And it's, my whole thing is, it's all about level. So what level or layer in the skin are you at? And the filler, where is the filler going? So sometimes the filler is very high up, and sometimes it's very deep. And if it's very deep and the laser is very high up, there's no problem with the laser. So lasers that, are very high up, or like the vascular laser, the pico laser, because brown and vessels live up very high in the skin. And if we're going below the skin, you don't have to worry about it. So it really depends on the device. Like we have something called Ellacor. You wouldn't want to do filler when you do Ellacor, which is that microcoring, because it would take away the filler. Those little cores would take also the filler. So it really depends on what we're doing. And we are very cognizant of that when we're combining things. Because, we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we get long-lasting results.
So then, but to clarify, when you said vascular laser, we mean V-beam. That's the one we use here. So if someone has bruising after we fill them, let's say with a softer product like the Redensity, you still find it safe to do the V-beam for bruising afterward?
Yes, that's a good question, but we're still very high up in the dermis, and all the fillers, Redensity is a little more superficial, but it's still, I think it's below the laser. And there was some studies about lasers and fillers, and basically it was fine. There was one study that looked at RF microneedling, which is where we have the Genius, and that is, it goes deeper and penetrates deeper in the dermis. And that one, there was some concern about filler longevity, but everything else was actually fine. They studied all the other lasers. So the 2 caveats would be the microcoring and probably RF microneedling.
Yeah, and we do say 6 months apart, so we address that. Okay, will this product help with sagging jowls? So product, you can actually answer that both for Daxify, the neurotoxin, and for filler.
I like it.
Go
girl.
I know.
She's got it.
So Dr. Sikorsky, she has taught us how to do some of the jowl lifting by putting little aliquots of toxin around the jawline and underneath it. And so what it does is gives you a little lift. That's for the Daxify. And you want to talk about your now jowls chin area that you're so popular.
Yeah. So everybody is talking about the jowl area. It's an important area, not only doing here, because that can kind of help lift and push back. And there's lots of different products that you can do that with. You can do right here, and you can also do products like Sculptra, and there's like a radius, and we can dilute the radius and kind of help stimulate collagen. So we have all kinds of products now. It's really fun, and we have all kinds of lasers and devices, and the whole putting it all together is really fun. But yeah, there's a lot of ways to kind of go all along here with the RH products, in here to help. Like if you have a little, like I do have a little bit over here, you can put a little bit here and you can put a little bit there, and you actually kind of do that, if you can imagine.
Or when we were talking more superficially, you can put a little more up here, and you're giving some collagen lift here. So it's taking some of the weight off of this lower jowl.
Yeah.
So a few different ways, and everybody ages a little differently. So it's not a recipe. It's like you have to really get evaluated, and then we can determine what we need to do for you. trying to think if any of the models that we showed needed that
I don't
filling.
think
I
we
don't
did
think
that
I think the
area.
first
Yeah.
time, but
Yeah.
not this last time. So, what are the best procedures to lift the down frown or the marionette lines? So, two things again. So we can address those with the Daxify. There's a little triangle muscle here that we can stop it from moving with the Daxify, and it won't pull down the corners of the lip like that. Or we can just fill in some of that space with an RHA product. And again, it just depends on which one, how thick your skin is. But they're great. And I think we said this during the webinar, but the ability for this product to integrate into your skin, it looks so natural. It doesn't look like you are stiff in this area. It really moves with your skin.
Yeah, so I agree. I think doing some toxin here to kind of lift the corner, because the corner is pulled down by this muscle called the DAO. It's the depressor of the angle of the mouth. And then if you do put some, like a strut of filler and in this area, you can actually support the corner of the mouth. It is a tough area because, as we get older, like this area is one of the first things that happen to some people. Not everybody, but they start to have this happen. Anyway.
Then one of the questions was about using, will you scroll up and she can decide on that one. I've never had a filler or a laser that works on the vertical lip lines. What are you recommending? That Redensity product is a home run for the vertical lip lines. Hands down, it is my favorite for those.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is a really stellar application in this area. If it's really, really deep lines, sometimes you have to go to a little bit denser product than it. But if you have these fine etched in lines, it works actually really well.
Yeah. What do you recommend, RHA, or would you recommend RHA over Sculptra? I haven't had either, this patient says. What's your answer for this?
You really have to see your face, but it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of ways. It's so fun. It's like so many ways to
There's
do
a
this.
study for that.
Yeah,
There's a study for
that. Yes. But I love Sculptra. I think it has a really nice place because it can stimulate collagen. So it's what we call a biostimulatory filler. And sometimes I'll do that on patients once a year just to kind of stimulate collagen, make their skin look good. And then we'll do like RH fillers to lift. It's really good for like skin quality and really natural, kind of a natural look. And then you could add, like you wouldn't put Sculptra in the lips or certain areas. And it's good to use actually even in combination with each other. It's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are we? I think we got all our questions answered.
Oh, just kidding.
Oh, depending on where you place the Daxify, can you lift the eyelid? So I'm assuming if I'm getting this correct, this is usually the lift that we want up here. Sometimes people even called it the fox eye. That got a little trend a while ago. Did you not? Am I teaching the master something? All right. So it was a lift to this corner. And so, yes, you can put some Daxify or any of the neurotoxins here where we can cramp down and it will kind of stop the ability of that muscle to be able to pull in and naturally give you a little lift. It's nothing like a endoscopic brow lift, but it can lift the corner of the brow.
Yeah, and I think some people will put one unit right here at the eyelash margin to kind of lift the eye. And that does work. There's also a new product called Apnique, which is drops that you can put in your eyes. So some people have, we call it ptosis, or like their eyelid is a little bit lower. And if you put the Apnique in, it actually strengthens the muscle called the levator, the elevator. And it's really safe, the elevator over the eyelid. It's a super safe drop. And it's great. And you can use it if you're going out and you want to have like doughy, like, brighter eyes and so forth. And it also helps with broken capillaries in the eyes. So that's kind of cool.
Okay, I think we've answered everyone's questions. Thank you guys so much for participating. Just a reminder that to everyone attending I gotta read it. I'm old. Okay,
Not
I
old.
forget. Thank you for let me finish. Friendly reminder to everyone attending today, you'll be getting a text at the end of this event. Be sure to reply yes and to be contacted for a free consultation.
And I also wanted to remind everybody that we do send out monthly email blasts regarding our specials. And I'm sure a lot of you are on that and you're getting our emails. We're planning to do more webinars about other topics too. We'd be interested to know what are some of the topics you might like to learn about. We do know a lot about a lot of things now. We have been very busy during COVID learning and, getting smarter. So, and there will also we'll have a big open house again in the fall. So we'd like you all to consider coming. Great hors d'oeuvres and food. And then we'll have some topics too that we'll discuss because it's kind of like learning is fun. Learning is fun.
That's the theme here. We always keep it going. I love it.
Anyway, thanks again for joining us tonight.
Yeah. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.